need to tell you I'm so fed up with politicians and what we can do about it. But before I do, let me just give you some facts. Plattner is the candidate for the Democratic Party for Senate in Maine. And he had a Nazi tattoo emblazoned on his chest for 20 years. Now, you don't tattoo a Nazi insignia on your chest unless you really, really believe in that stuff. And yet, in spite of that and many, many other facts about this guy that makes him a horrible person, all the Democrats, or most Democrats, lined up right behind him, including Chuck Schumer, to endorse him because they explained, yes, all these little ugly things, inconvenient facts, but you know what? We need to regain the Senate. Now, sadly, people started finding out other ugly things about this gentleman, including the fact that he said some atrocious things about women, like despicable things about women. And now finally some people are waking up saying, this is a bad guy. We cannot support him just because he's in our party. And time again, I keep seeing and learning over the last several years, I've been seeing how, by the way, this happens in both parties. Republicans and Democrats fund extremists on the other side, horrible people on the other side, because they want a weaker candidate to oppose. But at what point are you going to put principle over power and your quest for power at all costs? At what point are you going to allow that you care about your country, patriotism, over political hyperpartisanship? The only way we can hold Republicans and Democrats accountable to not just be pursuing power at all costs is for us, the people, to demand that they lead with principle. And that's what we're trying to do with the Builders Movement and with the Builders Blog. Go to Builders Blog, research it online, and learn how we're trying to evaluate how these politicians are acting and whether they're serving the people rather than themselves, whether they're putting citizens first over their political parties. Because at some point, we're not going to win as people, as humanity, as citizens, unless we hold all these politicians accountable. This happened in the last cycle already. A group of Republicans were funding this racist, anti-Semitic woman in San Antonio, was saying horrible things, and they were funding her because they wanted her to be the weaker candidate to oppose or to embarrass the Democrats. And the Democrats did this also in the prior cycle, where they supported the extraordinary extreme contingents on the far right of the Republican side that were opposing people like Adam Kinzinger and Peter Meyer, who were people who actually stood up to Donald Trump. But the Democrats found them inconvenient because they were moderates. So they funded and sent $15 million to try to weaken the moderates that had stood with principle. When are these politicians going to act with principle, defending the rights of America, to build something together, to unite us together? Only when we hold them accountable. Please go to Builders Movement, go to the Builders Blog website and learn how you can learn more about these politicians and find out if they're actually acting with principle and serving the interests of citizens over themselves.